So hold on. So this is really what has me kind of concerned. And people are, I don't know, when you go here, listen to the Golden Globes, and they're all, oh my God, I can't believe this is not my country, blah, blah, blah. And I would never really know what they're talking about. But one of the things I could imagine they would be nervous about is what feels like kind of recklessness. It feels like it. I'm not saying it is. And that we seem to be going a lot of directions very fast. Does that concern you that we're going to Greenland and Iran and Venezuela and Cuba and Mexico? It feels too much to me, but what do I know?
Well, I would say something that I pretty much consistently say on the show, which is Donald Trump is doing a lot of things, and he's doing a lot of things well. And he's also running up against the clock, because if the Republicans lose the midterms, he's basically hung out to dry for 2 years, and this incredible turnaround of the country is pretty much over. So I think he is, there's looks maxing. That's what the kids are doing now. He's like foreign policy maxing right now. And to this point, it basically has all been good. He's throwing out all the old rules of all the things that we all complain about. He's doing it in a completely different way. Let's not forget, I mean, Jillian, I'll mention him one more time. Tucker was telling us that if we did anything in Iran, or if Israel attacked Iran, it was going to be thermonuclear World War III.
Yes.
And it was a 12-day war that all we had to do at the end was send a couple of B-2 bombers, which was so freaking cool. They couldn't even see them, and they finished that thing off. So it's like, believe in America again. That's what I think. I'm not saying it will all be right.
You said it's not been done this way before. In fact, it has been. You look no further than Truman and Theodore Roosevelt, and it has absolutely been done precisely like this.
I'm glad you brought that up. It's not that it's never been done before. It's that they don't believe we can do good things anymore, and that's partly because of the last 30 years of misadventures.
I don't think that's it. I think he's getting paid to say that shit. I'm sorry.
Oh.
That is my opinion.
Tucker, he's buying a house in Qatar, and
Yeah, come on. It was 12 days. In fact, I had this debate with Ana Kasparian. Yeah. Obviously, when the 12-day war was going on. Listen, I would constantly listen. Hear me out. And there were many times, because I didn't know enough about any of this at the time, which is why I often wanted somebody like you, Dave, or Coleman Hughes, or Scott Jennings to provide the other point of view. Because I was like, I'm not an expert in this. I don't know. I can't refute the things you're saying. Having said that, with Iran, knowing Trump's history, his former, I'm sorry, not his former, but his first 4 years, his position on taking out Soleimani, bankrupting Iran, I'd said, I'm like, I think you got to give him a chance. I don't think this becomes a forever war. And she adamantly was like, yes, it does. And you're wrong. And I was like, all right, if it turns out not to be, will you eat your words? Yes. Do you think that day has come?
When we inevitably get dragged into this war, when we inevitably end up spending tens of billions, if not hundreds of billions, if not $1 trillion, depending on how long that war with Iran lasts, will you guys come back on this show and at least admit I was right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Conversely, though,
what's the question? Say it again.
Within 6 months, and Iran is defanged in the Abraham Accord, this is a pipe dream. I get it. But if it ends within 6 months, Iran is defanged. I don't know if there'll be a regime change. I have no idea. I haven't heard talk of that yet. Obviously, I know that we wouldn't be hearing that because nobody is for that. In fact, Trump denied involvement because it's so friggin' unpopular. I get it. But if in 6 months this is resolved, it's like Soleimani, it came, it went, Iran is defanged, and the Abraham Accords are expanded, will you admit that?
Yeah, of course.
Of course. Do you think it was, I'm wrong, I was wrong? No. And so my thing with regard to what you're saying, Drew, is I've learned to sit back and wait it out with Trump. On Venezuela, I'm like, all right, let's see what happens.
Yep. Listen,
I'm going to wait it out.
That's my point. He knows. Look, he has the world's greatest advisors. He knows. What do I know? I'm sitting here in Pasadena. What possibly could I know that would be meaningfully contributive to what his decision making? And so far, so good.
Yeah, I mean, that's the last thing I'll say on it is with Venezuela. I was like, well, I mean, the Maduro regime is still on the ground. Mike Baker was teaching me all about this. And I said, I'm going to sit back and wait to form an opinion on this one. So far, so good. No boots on the ground. No former Maduro regime slaughtering everybody. Obviously, it's going to take years to see how this plays out. but it certainly didn't implode instantaneously the way that the Tucker Carlsons of the world would have you believe over and over and over again. This guy is no longer a credible source of information. He is just a paid propaganda machine.
And to be fair,
I'm so done
tell
with
us how
him.
you actually
I am
feel,
done.
Jillian. Tell
I'm
us
done.
really,
Like,
how do you feel about
he's,
him?
Well, Jillian had a great piece in
evil
Daily
in the
Mail
world for
that
money, and
explains
it's
all
gross. Enough.
But
we called it out with the left, and now we're calling out with the alt-right. And he is definitely the tip of that spear, him and Fuentes.
To do maybe a more measured kind of sort of a recommendation for the world. If people don't make good predictions, that's a tell. They may not know what they're talking about. And people's predicting capacity should be what we look to as how well they know what they're talking about.